And it says it's
Music.
live.
Yay!
Yay, live!
Yay live!
All right.
Do we have music?
No,
Bum, 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 bum.
I didn't hook the thingy up.
Oh, the thingy.
I always fix it in post.
The music thingy.
But no, I
That's
haven't.
all right.
So we'll just dance again.
Gift.
We don't need it. So this is our Beyond the Wall reaction show. We all just watched the premiere, season 5, episode 1 for Game of Thrones, which was titled The Wars to Come.
Ah,
Yeah.
some interesting stuff in this episode. Like, there was not a lot of action exactly. I mean, there was really only, I think only Jon Snow's storyline really had anything happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, everything else was more like, let's catch up where everybody is now, which is good. But I think it was really only his where there was really any plot development. But there's lots of areas already that are interesting just to contemplate in context with what's going to happen compared to the books, or things that seem like they're already diverging from the books. I mean, we knew that was going to happen, but we're definitely starting to see it already.
I think I'm used to a more flashy season premiere, though. Like, I feel like in the past, after finishing, I'm like, yes, this is going to be awesome. I'm so pumped. And this time, I feel like it feels like a middle of the season kind of an episode to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We got dragons. We had two.
Yeah.
Two dragons. We had Dario Naharis extremely naked and wow, really glad. I didn't know if they were going to switch him out because he's on Orphan Black and that's about to start up, and he's got another project. I can't remember what it's called now, but I was thinking, they might have to recast him again. And I had, like you guys know, I've been avoiding spoilers and clips and stuff, and it was like, oh, it's him. Oh, he's naked. Really glad they didn't recast. It's going to make Orphan Black a lot more fun to watch now, too.
Well, I tell you, when he said that a dragon queen without dragons is no queen, and I just wanted to, on Daenerys' behalf, is like, well, thank you, Dario. That's very helpful.
Now,
you want to make some constructive criticism with some actual suggestions for maybe how I could improve my situation here? Although I guess technically he was telling her she should reopen the fighting pits, so she already dismissed that, so maybe that's not fair.
But still, any time before now would have been a better time, because clearly they did not like being in that dark cavern.
Oh, that broke my heart.
I know. Those were the nice ones. That's what I told you. Just like, those were the nice ones.
Drogon's nice, too.
Oh.
I mean, he barbecued a kid, but,
See, that's where I think we kind of have different scales of what's heinous and what's not.
Would you think about, I'm going out on a hunting party, I'm getting myself some food, and I accidentally killed a bird while I was getting this bear? That's what Drogon's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was the problem is that he was unattended, if she had been there to say, Drogon, no.
Well, and she clearly didn't know how to raise a dragon.
Yeah,
oh, wait. Should I watch the movie?
Well, I think the thing with Daenerys that I've always thought, and this is not a spoiler or anything, it's just, I think that whatever mystical higher power decided that magic is coming back and is making all of these things coalesce in this one time and place, including the birth of the dragons, whatever that force is, call it destiny or magic or the gods or whatever it is, does not think she should be hanging out in Meereen. And I think the fact that she is losing control of her dragons is reflective of her falling away from what she really should be doing.
I like that theory. I like that theory a lot.
So I was figuring that maybe what her course of action now is she needs to get back in touch with the dragons. So I figured some power would awaken in her, like she'd practice actually controlling them or something, and we'll get an.
Uh-oh.
Got frozen Chooch.
I don't know, but he looks sexy. Oh, he's gone.
Oh no.
I wonder what's going to happen to us.
Well,
I think we'll continue until he rejoins the call.
yeah. Unfrozen at least.
We're never going to know where you were when you went frozen.
Yeah. The other thing. Oh,
well,
sorry.
let's let Chooch say what his comment was.
I don't know where it dropped off.
Let's say the whole thing.
That's where my impression of where it was going to go was her finding her inner dragon power, and we'll get some kind of dragon training focus thing.
Or
I
80s
think
montage.
Christiana's makes more sense.
Well, the other thing is, though, that we have to remember that the series makes a habit of setting us up with traditional fantasy tropes only to pull the rug out from under us.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be, and something like that, the idea that somehow she just has to do the right thing and then everything will click into place, that's definitely more of like a classic fantasy trope. So in some ways, the idea, oh yeah, the mother of dragons, and because she's been doing pretty well lately. She's had a string of successes here, and so it was foolish for her to think that was gonna last forever. But I don't know. It's a rough spot, That's at the same time, she knew that she was going to have troubles. That's the whole reason why I always call Marine her starter kingdom.
Yep. I think I was most excited about the opening scene.
Oh, yeah.
Flashback.
Yeah, that was well done.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if they were going to bring that whole bit of the story into the show. I thought they were going to just ignore it completely.
I thought Lena Headey might tell the story to somebody, although
maybe.
At the same time it's not clear who she would trust enough to tell that story to. Although, I mean, they could invent a handmaiden or something. But so I think that was interesting too, and I think it also including it is important because, well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but just the idea of what is her mental state right now, and we get a little bit of that too with her and Jaime, and we just realize that it's not even just a matter of she's mad at Tyrion and she wanted him to die already, and now she extra wants him to die. But just the idea that he's still out there, just she cannot stop thinking about it.
Well, so Chooch, what were your thoughts about the start of the new season?
Initially, it was just trying to figure out who it was. If it was Marissa, is that the daughter? Marcella, yeah. Trying to figure out who these girls were, and then you get the prophecy thing, and I'm still a little, and then because I'm hearing all the shrouded in gold, and so I'm thinking, oh wow, yeah, that sounds like the Lannisters. It must be Cersei, and then boom, you see her, and damn, that's
prophetic.
I didn't. Well, yeah, but I mean, I was just wondering how is this going to come back? Why would they do an actual flashback unless some witchy poo action's going to happen again?
Yeah, could be.
Because it's essentially just reaffirming something we knew. Just because some witch told her it was going to happen before it happened doesn't really mean anything unless that resurfaces.
Of course, the thing, not all of it is something we already knew, because the prophecy was 3 children you will have.
Right, he'll have 20.
Gold will be their crowns, and gold will be their shrouds, implying that they're going to die.
Right.
Only one of her kids has died.
Well, but everybody dies.
That's true. I'm just saying that would be an interpretation of that. I mean, it's not a spoiler. I'm just saying that's an interpretation of the prophecy, and it very well might be something that's on Cersei's mind, right?
Oh yeah. And one of the other things is, for me, has always been that a lot of times death, when getting fortunes from like a witch or prophecy or whatever, doesn't always mean, physical death.
Right.
It could just mean losing everything or a
Big
giant
change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for me, the big part of this prophecy is it explains so much about her, because she's lived her whole life thinking she's going to get what she wants only to lose it, and her kids are going to die.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If she ever believed it before that memory.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's also like, I think she probably has gone through her life more or less just pretending, oh, well, that was just a silly thing, it didn't mean anything, but never quite able to forget it entirely. But now one of her kids has died, and now there is a younger, more beautiful queen threatening to cast her down and take everything she has. So now is exactly the time when she might start thinking, oh my God, is it all true?
And this is where we insert the Archer quote. It's just like the gypsy woman
Yeah.
So any other standout scenes?
Tyrion looks great with a beard.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to ask if we had mentioned that Daria Naharis was naked.
Yes, I believe we covered that.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just still thinking a lot about things that are different from the books, and it's hard to know how much of them are safe to talk about because it's a change from something that's already happened, and how much is stuff that may be diverging. But then there's also Sansa and Littlefinger are past where they are in Book 5. They are already off book.
Wow.
I told Chooch tonight to just disregard my reactions to pretty much anything because I am so far behind on, I think Arya the only storyline that is kind of where it is at the start of Book 4? Because it seems like everyone else, maybe not Jon.
John's is...
Trying to remember.
I think John's is about right.
I think he's about on time.
Things that should have happened for Jon haven't happened yet, and considering other things that are going on.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I know Bran is ahead of the story. That's for dang sure.
Yes, Bran is ahead.
It's like but I told him, I said, just anything, any reaction, anything. I go, but I wonder if, did you notice this and that? I'm like, this is total speculation right now because of things going on here. I haven't been able to dig into Book 4. So the migraine meds are changing again, and I'm hoping to be able to start soon. So.
Well, so I don't know how much deeper we want to go for tonight's reaction show, given that we're going to have our longer discussion later, but I certainly have a lot more that I could say.
Oh, yeah.
So, obviously we didn't get to touch base with everybody. We need to see what Ari is doing and a few other people. I'm curious to see if we are going to see if they pick up Bran this season at all, or if they do, how long before they do.
Well, the other big thing that I was wondering if it was going to happen in this first episode, and it didn't, but it looks like it'll happen next time, is adding Dorne to our intro. I was watching for it when the credits rolled, but we didn't go there this time, and yet in the preview it looks like next time.
Yeah, and you guys noticed that Winterfell is different?
Yes.
Yeah, not burning anymore.
Yes.
It's actually looking like it's being rebuilt, and Chooch actually said something. I was like, what? And so certainly everything, the fire's off, and it looks like things are starting to rebuild. And I was like,
there was a flame moon.
Yep. Well, yeah. Last time we saw Roose and Ramsay was when Roose made gave Ramsay his last name, and they were riding for Winterfell.
Yep.
Taking
Winterfell.
up residence. And then I guess that's actually what Stannis tells Jon this time too, which is who's in Winterfell. Yeah.
And that's our next stop.
Just as like a total interruption, since I know that we're going to be probably ending soon, we have kind of been winding in and out of the room with HBO on, and so they've been doing their Game of Thrones marathon, and it was just, we saw the cutest little scene with Brienne and Pod at the little I can't remember the name of that inn at the Crossroads or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's it.
With hot pie.
Yeah.
And he said, I made one. She liked it before. I think this one's better. I was like, hot pie. And he called it Winter Hell. So
yeah.
I actually am kind of
There's
wishing
some serious fan service in that scene, which I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Fan service is a good thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's because we're fans and we're being serviced.
And there's so much darkness. There's so much darkness in that story.
Yeah. I rewatched season 4 just finishing it over the weekend here before the premiere, and this is really unrelated to the premiere, but I just thought I would share it with you guys, that in my rewatch I discovered something that kind of fixed one of the minor problems I had originally in season 4. Is you guys may recall when we talked about episode 9 last season when Ygritte dies, I mentioned I wasn't a big fan of having the kid be the one to do it.
Right.
Just because in the books we never know for sure who really fired the arrow, and I guess I just kind of felt like we don't want Jon to do it. But if it's not going to be him, I almost want it to just be who knows, and that way she's just sort of a casualty of the battle, because I didn't feel like any of the other characters had really earned that plot cred.
Yeah.
But in rewatching, I realized that in episode 3, the scene where that kid's village gets, slaughtered, there's a shot of him hiding under a cart looking terrified, looking out and watching Ygritte kill like 3 people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so specifically him watching her, not just watching, oh no, they're killing my family and all that, but seeing her do it and realizing, oh, okay, he might actually have some personal reason to dislike her specifically, which I didn't really catch before. And it doesn't I still have minor qualms about it, but I do feel better about it, just at least that they did set something up to... I still feel like, all they did to support him being an okay archer is having him say a line at one point. It's like, oh, it's the best archer in my village. Okay, we haven't seen you do that, but fine.
Especially in those conditions, under fire,
Yeah, so night. Again, I don't want to get all back into it, but I just thought I'd mention that there was a little thing in there that that I didn't notice until rewatching.
I think it gave us all an out for not hating that kid for killing. You know what I mean? It's like, how do we not hate this kid? Oh, let's watch his parents get butchered by her. That's it. That's how we forgive ourselves.
I never hated the kid anyway. I think that was always just like, it was this star-crossed lovers thing. There was just no way it would ever work, and that was the fundamental tragedy of those two characters. Is that, and unfortunately, I think Jon recognized it before Ygritte did.
Totally.
Just this realization that the Night's Watch is too important to him, and the Wildlings stuff is too important to her, and there is no way that they could be together in either place. And so neither of them is willing to completely run away from this battle altogether, although she said that she might have been willing to, if he, so who knows if he had actually been on board, but there was no way that it could work. The forces of the universe were just aligned against them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild seeing Jon train the kid.
Yeah, he worked through some stuff right there, I think.
I'm glad Thorne at least is finally, at the very least, he's like, well, okay, I guess he's a pretty good fighter. I'm going to let him train the kids. I don't have to call him a steward anymore.
And, well, I guess he's kind of good at leading, and I don't know. So I've got a bit of a news item that I read this morning. Did you guys hear that the first 5 episodes have been leaked?
Yeah, I heard that.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently
I
they
haven't
were
seen
from
that.
a promotional DVD, which is just really underhanded in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you take promotional copies and put them out there. That's just wrong.
Yeah. I whoever did it is a jerk. Don't do
So who's
that.
watched them?
I don't know. I'm
I
not
haven't.
gonna watch him.
No, me
They
either.
say there's over 100,000 downloads already, and I'm pretty sure that most of the people that would have gone and downloaded them are the people, well, two kinds of people. Some people that can't get access to HBO and we're going to download it anyway.
Yeah.
And the other people are the troll types who are very excited to be able to spoil things for other people.
Exactly. So be on
Well,
your guard.
there's also true fans that are going to turn around and watch it again when it's
Yeah.
broadcast.
Yeah.
But I want to watch it like as the world watches it.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Having that week
exactly.
of suspense really does add something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting just because obviously this weekend was the start of the Netflix Daredevil show, which is great.
Oh, haven't had a
Um,
chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, I'm only almost halfway through. I think I've watched 6 of them. It's really good, but at the same time, I have to say, even though obviously binge watching has become like a thing for Netflix,
Yeah.
I don't really like them doing that for new shows. It's one thing when they're finally dumping the old, all of the last season on there, and people can binge watch to catch up.
Right.
But when you put the whole season up all at once for the new stuff, it makes it impossible for people to have conversations about it in the same way because you don't know where other people are at yet. So if I want to talk all about something that happens in episode 6, I can't because you guys haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Someone who's only watched up through episode 3 can't, know what's in 6. And someone who's watched the whole thing can't talk to me about the end because, no, we're all in different places.
Okay, so put it
I
on the
think
to-do list.
DVR culture already exists, where
Yeah.
a lot of people are a
Not to
season
that
behind or
But
half
it's
a season
still
behind.
it's still an etiquette thing though, where even if you're not watching the show live, if you're still watching a show regularly and you catch up on each episode within a week, and you have people who are going to be more or less if they're really invested in the show anyway, they're going to be just within maybe an episode or 2 of each other instead of 4 or 5 or 13. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's not to complain as much as just I prefer them to draw it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The shows that are appearing on Netflix and on an actual TV station at the same time, they do it in the fashion of once a week. So the 100 and the Mike Tyson Files, I think, mysteries, something like that. Those are released as they're released on TV, which is kind of neat because it means you can watch with everybody else on TV. But there's definitely that thing of, oh, the new season's here. I watched it all in 2 days. Oh,
Yeah.
you've only seen one? Come back to me when you've watched it all. And then that conversation doesn't often happen. You don't come back to
No,
me.
it doesn't.
So.
Nope.
Yep. So that's my idea. If I had the whole season of Game of Thrones right now, I wouldn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm
But
just
at the
annoyed
same-
that we can't watch it in IMAX anymore. We only got those 2 episodes.
Yeah. But see, that's almost the problem though, is that if you had the whole season,
Yep.
even if you didn't want to watch the whole thing all in a weekend,
Oh, I'd have
other
to.
people would be,
Nope.
and then exactly. So that's why I So for example, I'm also watching the Powers TV show that's coming from the Sony, the Sony Entertainment PlayStation. I'm watching it on the PlayStation, but you don't have to have a PlayStation to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's frozen except me.
We can still hear
we're
you.
not frozen. We hear you.
Mm.
Oh no! But if we're frozen, she can't hear us. Telling her.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. The Powers TV
What
show.
happened?
I don't know.
Did everybody freeze or just me?
No,
Just you.
Keep
Because-
rolling.
You
All right.
didn't even freeze. We saw you continue to talk and say that we were frozen.
You were.
Um, anyway, the Powers TV show is still releasing just one episode at a time, and I kind of like that. There's an anticipation that builds, because you have to wait for a little bit. I feel like binge watching is good for catching up on something background, but I don't like it for consuming new things. I like there to be some separation so you have time to think about it.
Mm-hmm. We've been self-regulating, like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I think we watch 2 or 3 at a time and then give it a night.
Mm-hmm. See, that one I ended up just binge watching, but I almost kind of wish that I hadn't, because it was so easy to do, and so I did. But it also just makes me think, did I really fully absorb all of those, or did my attention start to wander here and there because it's just going from one to the next?
We're I think maybe halfway, a little bit more than halfway through it, and I've started watching it with our daughter-in-law the other night, and there was the whole story, whole shticks that I missed, whole lines of jokes that I missed on our first watch. So I can't believe there's more laughs there though.
Yeah. I think there's only one left.
See, and with the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I'm not sure I would have watched it other than, just straight on Netflix. Don't think I would have thought to tune in. As much as I liked the show, when I saw the previews and stuff for it, I was like, that doesn't look great. Mm-hmm. And then I'm working on something, so I start playing it in the background. And next thing I know, 3 days later, I've watched the entire series.
Yeah.
But it's one of those sneaky successes.
Yeah.
It's like 30 Rock, yeah.
I wouldn't have taken, because being a cord cutter, I would not have taken the time to invest myself in a weekly process for that. But for that, I would have missed out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's a really fun show. I know, Orange is the New Black, I would probably watch that weekly. I would watch that every week that it came out instead of binge watching it in the first 24 hours like I normally do.
Yeah.
So, it being 11 o'clock, I'm ready to turn into a pumpkin. And I know we got into all that other stuff, but I guess that's what I was just going to say is we're also going to be having our extended conversation on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So tonight we should leave people wanting more.
Yes.
Indeed.
And
we barely even touched on what happened in the episode.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Chooch has created the event, and you guys can just follow that there. It's the usual Wednesday 9 Eastern.
I can't wait to talk about why the Red Woman asked John if he was a virgin.
I know, she was so creepy in that elevator.
Yep. Save it for the real show.
Yeah.
All right.
And people can click on the event, and if you can click on the little Q&A thing in the top, and you can ask questions before we start recording, and they'll bubble to the top. Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Yay!
All right. I still have to push the button, huh?
Yeah.